A classic NFC North rivalry is taking place in Week 11 as the Green Bay Packers travel to Chicago to take on Caleb Williams and the Bears. My name's Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and we're going to break down this Packers-Bears Week 11 matchup, provide our predictions at the end. But before we get into that, we do have a goal of getting to 100 new subscribers for these Week 11 prediction videos we have going out. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, leave a like and a comment. Let us know who you think will win this game and why. So, Ryan, last time we saw the Packers team, they lost to the Detroit Lions a couple weeks ago, coming off a bye. Going to be well rested, hopefully, can kind of game plan going against a Chicago team who is still trying to figure out what happened against your New England Patriots today as they lost 19-3 at home. First home loss of the season. I think one of the things, for me at least, that the reason why I picked Chicago is they had some ups and downs, obviously, offensively, but typically, though, when they've been at home, that offense has been able to figure things out. Defensively, they've been able to play a little bit better, but that was clearly, obviously, not the case today. Ryan, you as a Patriots fan, what did you think of this Bears team? What went wrong? What are some things they need to improve going into this Packers game?
Yeah, I mean, to me, the biggest thing, you gave up 9 sacks, which is like an absurd number for a single game. And that, I think, especially, like, I think they had three or four sacks in the fourth quarter. Like, just as the game went on, that pass rush got more and more pressure. And this New England defense has been shaky at best throughout the season. They've had some good performances. They've had some really bad performances. But today, they dialed something up. That they had a really good game plan coming in and were able to really stifle this offense. And I think, like, coming into this matchup now, this Packers defense is much better than the Patriots. And so I think this Bears team, they're banged up on the offensive line. They have to either figure that out, get guys back, but put out some semblance of pass protection for Caleb Williams, because he can't do that much when he's getting hit in less than 3 seconds. And so for me, it starts there, protecting Caleb Williams, establishing a run game. They kind of got behind, but even the Patriots, who were one of the worst rushing defenses in the league, were able to slow down this running game with DeAndre Swift. So for me, I think it starts there with that offensive line for them. Defensively, I actually thought they had a pretty good day. I know, like, 19 points isn't a lot in the modern NFL, but they definitely, I think, gave up more yards than they wanted to, and allowed the Patriots to have more field goal opportunities, especially like end of half scenario. Patriots go down, it's 10-3. Patriots go down about 40 yards in like 16 seconds and kick 3 to go up 13-3 going into half. So, like, just like situations like that, I feel like this Bears team need to improve upon. Matt Eberflus, I think, got out coached today by Gerard Mayo, and this also could have just been a simple fact of, like, hey, this Patriots team sucks. They're going to come in here and we're going to kick their ass and then move on to Green Bay next week. And they just totally slept on them. So maybe all those issues will be resolved with a change in mentality coming into a new week.
Yeah. Well, and I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to remember. They did, yeah. So they scored 1 touchdown against the Commanders.
Yeah, at the end there.
Yeah, and so since they've come back to the States over the past 3 weeks since they beat Jacksonville, they've only scored 1 touchdown in America. And that's what I think is kind of mind-boggling to me a little bit, because they only put up 3 field goals. Let me confirm that, even since this is going on the internet. I want to confirm that is.
I think it was 3. Yeah, it was 3 field goals, and then
they lost to Arizona. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and even to that touchdown against the Commanders was like at the end of the game, like they had to grind down that Commanders team. And that's what I think is interesting to me. Is I know Caleb Williams is still a rookie. It's still like in his first overall pick, but you got DJ Moore, you got Roma Dunze, you got Keenan Allen, you got Cole Kmet. You traded for DeAndre Swift as well. I think maybe the offensive line play could be a little bit better, but so statistically, they're obviously like one of the worst offenses in the league. But and so that's why when I say this, though, too, it's going to sound obvious, but even on the eye test, it just looks like they don't know what they're doing at times. You know, the Jacksonville game looked great, but also, too, is that Jacksonville defense. A lot of offenses look great against Jacksonville. And so that's why you're seeing that in London, kind of like maybe they're starting to take the right steps forward, but then they haven't been able to capitalize on that overall. So maybe it's coaching, maybe Caleb Williams is still learning, but they have the weapons that are there. So why this offense has been so anemic is interesting. And to the point that you made earlier, this Green Bay Packers team is significantly better than your Patriots team.
Oh, yeah.
But they're going to be able to run the ball a lot better. They're going to be able to throw the ball a lot better. They're going to be able to call timeouts a lot better than New England can and Chicago can. Like, they're just going to look better doing everything. So you got to try and figure this out too, especially within this NFC North division, which all of a sudden looks like all these teams are going to be studs for the next several years, and the Bears don't want to be at the bottom of the barrel consistently. Again, like how they have been a lot. The Lions team are here to stay. Vikings team with Sam Darnold, and you got JJ McCarthy in the background. Like, as he develops, that'd be some questions. Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love, and then you got Matt LaFleur as their head coach, is one of the better head coaches in the league. A lot of questions. I say all this because I think there's going to be a lot of questions depending on how the Bears end up on coaching decision, coaching staff changes potentially come the end of the season, because expectations were as high as ever for the Chicago Bears, I feel, coming into this season. And on the flip side, if you're Green Bay coming in this game, you're well rested. You're going up against an offense that hasn't scored a lot, just in general, but especially not since they've returned back to the States from their London game. I think it's business as usual. Don't make mistakes. Don't hurt yourself. And they should walk away with the W here, even though I know it's on the road and still at home in Chicago in a rowdy environment. But Jordan Love and company can take care of the ball. Smart throws within that motion offense. Hand the ball a lot to Josh Jacobs, as the Green Bay Packers rushing offense, I would say, is pretty good, averaging 154 rushing yards per game. I'd say that's okay. I'm being sarcastic, so you can stop typing there. While on the flip side, other than the Chicago defense, that was averaging 23 yards allowed rushing, averaging 133 rushing yards per game. So that, to me, is, I think, going to be just matchup wise. I just think it's going to be super tough for the Chicago team, especially if they're still struggling just to put points on the board. Like, I don't know. Like, on paper, it's kind of what we talked about in the offseason. On paper, this team should be really good, but it's like, how is that going to translate on the field? And I think you start to kind of put in the questions of, you moved on from Justin Fields, you bring in this guy, Caleb Williams, and all the talent that he has, Matt Eberflus. What are you doing, bud? Because, no offense, maybe they lose to your Patriots, but only putting up 3 points is unacceptable. Honestly, then too, only 9 points against the Arizona Cardinals defense. The Cardinals defense statistically hasn't been good that year. They're improving, but still, you should put up some touchdowns against that team.
Yeah, well, and especially too, this isn't like a Belichick coached defense. I know this is like the Belichick disciples and whatnot, and I'm sure the Patriots like drew up a really good game plan for this week. But all in all, like this defense has not been very good for New England, and they dominated today. Like and so that was bad to see. I am interested. So like this team was 4-2, and now they're on a 3-game skid to be 4-5. Not to, if you haven't already been able to already tell, I'm going with.
We're picking the Packers.
Yeah, we're both picking the Packers. Like, they're about to be 4-6 in my opinion, and it's like, to me, the schedule doesn't really get easier. They have Minnesota, at Detroit, at San Francisco, at Minnesota, then versus Detroit. Like, in their next, 5 games? Like, that's not. They could very well end up being 4-11 going into the last 2 weeks. Or even then, they have Seattle versus Seattle, and then at Green Bay. And so, like, this could be an ultimate skid for this 4-2 Bears team.
Well, I'll just say it, and this is where it's just all just perspective. It'd be kind of like my last point. Be like, as a Patriots fan, just knowing your offensive setup coming into this year, if you scored 1 offensive touchdown in 3 games, would you be surprised?
No.
Yeah. So with this Bears team, you had the first overall pick. Caleb Williams is like generational talent. You trade for DJ Moore. You get Rome Odunze with 9th overall pick. You trade for Keenan Allen. I know the DJ Moore trade was a couple years ago still, but then you get Keenan Allen. You still got Cole Kmet, and then you should have a good running game. You had one of the better running games last year, and you scored 1 touchdowns. in the bulk of the season. Not like it's the first 3 weeks where you're still maybe trying to get some rust off or figure some things out. So
Yeah.
that's what is concerning to me. And you're in the heart of the season, and even to that first Detroit game, I will say that's a Thanksgiving game as well. So like prime time, it's a lot of
Yeah.
all the eyes will be watching that game as well. So you're going to try and figure some stuff out well before then.
Yeah. So I'm really interested to see kind of how the Bears respond, because they did show like 3 games in a row they put up 24, 36, 35. Like those are 3 good offensive performances right there in a row. They just, ever since they came back from London, they've only scored 1 touchdown. So it'll be interesting to see. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up here. We are both taking the Green Bay Packers. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. It is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, go ahead and leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead. Will it be the Green Bay Packers? Will it be the Chicago Bears? Know that. We'll see you guys next time.